Today we're going to look at the image editor for Makecode Arcade. Let's start by going over what tools we're going to find, and then we will create our own image. The first thing we're going to look at is, here's your pencil, so you have the ability to just draw how you would like. This is where you decide what the pencil size is going to be. Right now you can see the smallest size is selected. Then we have our eraser and our rectangle tool and our fill bucket. Next, we have a circle tool and a line tool. The following one is the marquee. And as you can see what it says, this is where you can select an area of your drawing to move, resize, copy, or paste. The next one is to pan. When you have the hand selected, you can move your canvas around so that you can zoom in and out of specific areas to be more precise with your drawing. Underneath that are your shortcut colors. And then you have your 16 color palette. Those are the only colors you have. Next is your canvas size. Pay close attention to this because this is going to be very helpful when it comes to creating things on a canvas. The larger the canvas size, the easier it is to draw more precisely. The next thing is to name your image. They call that an asset. And then you have your undo and redo and your zoom. Lastly, to close the image editor, you'll click Done. Now, let's see what that looks like in action. Okay, I am now in Makecode Arcade. Let's create our own sprite. Sprites, set my sprite, and then I have the gray box here. When I click on that, I open the image editor. The first thing I'm going to do is resize my canvas. You can see all the gray little boxes are much smaller now. That means that the image that I create will take up more space in the simulator. Let's use some of our tools. Create a face. If you notice, the circle starts from the center and moves out. My fill bucket. And then on the side, I'm going to create some eyes. All right, that's a decent looking eye. I'm going to use the marquee tool so that I can Control-C, copy, Control-V, paste. Now I can move the eye where I would like it. I'm going to draw another marquee around the other eye and move it to where I'd like it. That helps me with consistency. And if I don't like it, I'll use the undo button and move them back where I had them. Okay. Now let's draw a nose. For that, I'm just going to use, I want the black color. I'm going to make a couple of dots. And then I'm going to get fancy again to make a mouth. Well, a mouth is really a half circle and two more half circles. So let's be creative in how I draw this. I'm going to take the circle, I will make it pink, fill it, and then I'm going to zoom in, use my pan tool to put it right in front of me, and then I'm going to use the eraser. I want just this bottom piece right here. Make the eraser a little larger. And I'm going to get rid of the center pieces. Now I'm going to go back to my marquee tool And I'm going to move that right here. Make my eraser small again. I'm going to put one here and here. And I'm going to fill in the center with black. Back to my marquee tool. Zoom out. Move my mouth where I think it should go. Get my pan tool so I can move my canvas back up. Zoom back in. Looks like my mouth is a little crooked. Here's what happens when I use the marquee tool now though. Notice it takes away the color from underneath. I'm not going to stress over that. I'm just going to refill it. Use the marquee tool again. And I'm going to replace the mouth where I think, well, it's not going to be perfect. Probably change the nose a little so that it's a little more symmetrical, because I think that that's where my issue is. And now I can go back, use my pencil tool. Meh, better, not great. As you can see, sometimes I'm a bit of a perfectionist. There we go. That is more even. Last but not least, I'm going to add some hair. I'm going to use my pencil tool. I'm going to just kind of make a little bit of a mess, I guess you can call it. Ta-ta. I'm also unclicking very often because if I make a mistake, I can hit undo and it doesn't take everything away. Okay? So make sure, if you know you're going to make mistakes, like I know I do, just lift your finger off the mouse while you're drawing. See, that looks silly. And then it'll only take a little bit of it away. All right. That looks sufficient. And I can always come back and add more features to it later. For now, I'm going to click Done. And you'll see that my image is going to show up right in the center of the simulator. So that is how you use the image editor in Makecode Arcade to create your own images.